Understanding percents. Now, percents are just ratios a ratio that compares a number to 100. When working with percents, you will always have 100 as part of the problem, so really don't overthink it. Now, frequently, when working with percents, people use a 10 by 10 grid. And one of the easiest things to do, just to start off with, is this idea of going ahead and saying, how do you identify how much of a grid this represents? So if you were asked a problem like writing percents as a model, all you do is this here is a 10 by 10 grid, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 10 down as well. So all I do is I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 more, plus 2. So if I was asked what does this model represent, it represents 22%. And that's it. Now, if you were instead asked to model 10%, what you would do is you'd go ahead and say, okay, well, I've got a model 9% of the grid, and I bet you already know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and go, well, hey, there's 1, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, 7%, 8%, and finally 9%. Now, so that's pretty easy, pretty clear, I think. And over here, the next thing we have in terms of modeling with percents, when we have something like this, where we're going ahead and we are being asked, what does this represent as a model? All we're going to do is we're going to count the spaces. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, so it's divided into fourths, and there's 3 of the fourths are filled in with yellow. Or if you wanted to say which one is filled in with white, you would just say 1/4, but in this case here we're going to say 3 of the fourths are filled in with yellow. So if I wanted to go ahead and figure out what the actual ratio or what the actual percent is going to be, all I'm going to do is figure out, change this to 100. So the way I do that is I multiply the bottom here times 25, and the top by the same thing times 25. So here this is going to be 75% as a ratio. Now over here, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and just do this again with these 3 stormtroopers. There are 2 stormtroopers that are taller than this guy right here. Maybe this is Luke, I don't know, but still 2 stormtroopers that are taller. So this would be out of the, what percentage of the stormtroopers are taller? It would be 2/3. And then to change that into percent, I'd have to actually multiply this number here times, well, it's going to be times 33.3 with a vinculum over the top. And I would do the same thing up here, 33.3 with a vinculum on top there. So now that's going to be 66.6. A good old vinculum up there, and then that's over 100. So if we were to be asked how many or what percent of the stormtroopers are taller than this guy right here, or what percent of the total stormtroopers are the tall guys, then we would go ahead and say it's 66.6%. And the way we would write that is just 66.6%. And over here, remember, percent means per 100, so this is just going to be 75%. And the last one here, when we use equal ratios, just again this whole idea of just finding the common, changing the numerator to 100. So, and both the numerator by multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by the same fraction, and then the numerator is the percent, just like we did before. So here, this one here, let me change the color here. It's going to be times, and it's going to be times 2. So we multiply the top times 2 as well. We're going to end up with 42 over 100, which means it's 42%. Remember, that this part here means it's over 100. It's percent, per 100. And same thing here. When I change this, I'm going to change it by, I'm going like that. Ooh, 20, excuse me, and 20. So this is going to be 60 over 100. So that's 60%. And that's basically all you have to do to understand the basics of percents that we're covering in this particular lesson.